Hello, I'm Jennie Moench, and this is Nick Custer, and we are the Creative Alliance. We want to welcome to the Creative Alliance show. Nick is a local poet. You might have seen him doing some street poetry. He got a new chapbook out. What's the name of your new chapbook?
Crash Bang Bloom Doom.
No, this is your fifth one, isn't it?
Fifth chapbook in that series, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. You're going to put them all together into a real book?
Yeah, when I get the sixth one finished and compile them all together, it's going to use a bunch of QR codes to put live tracks of every poem with it. I've done a lot of collaboration with local artists too. They're going to be featured in the book, so stay up for it.
And I'm an author, and I'm also a local artist. I've got some stuff right now at the Bima's Snack Shop, the old Mike's Deli. There's some artwork there. I think I've got a painting with you in it, actually. And then I also have, I have a couple things over at FIA too in there for my paintings, but I also have books that are available on Warrior Publications and FlintUnderground.org.
For sure. Now, what is the Flint Underground, Jenny?
Well, we have the Flint Underground YouTube channel, but we also have FlintUnderground.org, where we run all the videos on the left side of the screen, and then we have tabs to, like, for my Etsy site. We also have a tab for Warrior Publications, which is local artists and musicians can sell their stuff.
Cool.
And
what else do we got collected on the Flint Underground channel? People that don't know at home.
Oh, man. We got, right now, the new videos, because there's like 63 videos now on there. But they're all about Flint. The newest videos are support your local poet, open mic at Churchill's. And we have some really beautiful footage of Applewood Estates. We also have the Wobble Wednesdays at Aloha, and Mayflowers, and Collab Night at the Good Beans. Collab Night will be again Wednesday.
This Wednesday, June 20th, 7 to 10 at Good Beans Cafe.
We've been recording those too, so if anybody's interested in seeing themselves on YouTube, to be filmed, they just have to show up Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the Good Beans and sign up, sign the waiver.
Cool.
So make sure I spell their name correctly underneath it.
And for everybody at home that doesn't know, the Creative Alliance is a group of artists and activists. We are painters, poets, organizers, dancers, actors, models, photographers, filmmakers, writers, DJs, musicians, designers, comedians, performers. Our mission is to organize events and activities that support art, culture, education, and our community. We want to encourage an atmosphere that makes people proud to live in Flint, and if this sounds like an organization that you would be interested in joining, we meet at Churchill's Bar and Grill on Saginaw Street every Wednesday at 7 p.m., except that third Wednesday, which is going to be this Wednesday. We have our monthly collaborative open mic at the Good Beans Cafe. We have an open canvas, you can come paint, we have an open stage, you can perform, sing, anything you please on stage. It's just out there so we can have a space and we can be together and do what we do.
And you get to be famous.
And you get to be famous,
yeah, you get to be famous, put your name under
You get like 15 seconds, that's more than most people.
Send it off to your mother, share it with her.
So today we're going to have Raven Steele from Buicktown GhostHunters on the show to talk about his adventures in the spirit world. We have a live cam that we're going to go to Roy Peterson, who's a local glass artist, does some cool stuff. Let's check that out. And what's he going to create today?
Bottle stoppers, but he's going to put a flower, it's like a globe. You know those paperweights at FIA, those old paperweights with stuff inside of them? It's sort of like that, but only in miniature. He's going to put a flower, he's going to make a glass flower inside of the paperweight, or inside of the stopper. And we watch him do the whole process. Hopefully he can get it all done in 1 hour while we're on the air. We're going to go to that live cam here soon.
And then our second guest, of course, our musical guest is going to be The Herd this week. And they'll be playing for us later in the show, so stick around for that. And then you want to put up the promo mix? We got kind of like a quick reel, some FlintUnderground.org videos that you guys should stick out for too.
They'll be at the end. I think we really should go to the live cam. I think that we should show the first part to make sure that he gets everything done. What the live cam is that while we're on the air, we have a camera out in the field that is videotaping an artist doing their thing. We've done artists on canvas. We had Pauly, we had a tattoo artist.
We had a writer.
And now this time we're going to have a glass artist. And that will be Roy Peterson. And
AKA
we got a new cameraman. We got a cameraman, Ned. And he is with Roy right now. And let's see, can we get that going? Do you think we can get a feed to Ned, the camera?
Okay, so what I have here is a selection of things. These are floral wine bottle stoppers that I make. I have a couple of different types that I do, and you know, if you only drink a glass of wine, then these are perfect for you because you just.
Here, let's show that. Kind of tilt it towards the camera so I can get a good picture. Okay.
And it's kind of got like a little hologram.
Oh, it looks like a flower inside of it.
Oh yeah, it's a flower.
Three-dimensional.
Yep,
What are the other? Are they all like that? Can I see one of the other ones?
Not all of them are quite like that.
Show us all of them.
I have different designs. I'm kind of running low on them right now.
That's
I sold
beautiful.
a few. Thank you.
And these are all ones that you've made yourself right here.
Yep.
What else
And
do you have?
This here is my wine bottle stopper holder with a Tree of Life with beads that I made on bead mandrels.
Okay.
And I have a selection of just different beads for necklaces and earrings. I sell earrings, necklace pendants of different types. That's a mushroom.
Great.
And I got implosion flowers. And
Now, can I hold that? Hold that for a minute so I can get in and see it. Here, go in close to that so I can see it. It's kind of blurry now.
Should I go back?
Yeah, you hold still and let the camera guy go in on it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now we can see it. Cool. That is so pretty. How did you learn to do this? When did you get started? How long have you been doing glass art?
Off and on for about 3 years, but I've only had my own setup for about 1.5 years. I started off it was actually about 7 years ago. A good friend of mine from the Flint area, his name's Jason Almassey. He was interested in blowing glass, and he got himself a setup. And me being his best friend, we'd hang out, and he would show me a few things here and there. And he ended up moving to New Mexico not too long after he got his equipment. And it was a few years later he invited me out to stay with him for a few months and to learn how to blow glass.
Great. Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
We started making glass pipes and selling them to the local head shops and stuff.
Oh, you have pipes too? You haven't showed us a pipe
Oh,
yet.
yep. I got different pipes. This pipe here, I don't know if you can really see it too well. This is one of the color changing.
Oh yeah, we can see it now.
This is a color changing pipe. It'll turn blue and green.
Yeah, it looks
and
kind of like pearl,
Yeah.
or what do you call that stone that changes color?
Fire opal.
Opals. There we go.
That haze, that blue haze that's on, it's actually silver fume. And what you do is you get a piece of pure silver, 0.999, and you cut a little crumb of it off, heat up a glass rod and stick it to the end of the rod, and then you hold it in the flame and it vaporizes the silver and sticks to the surface of the glass.
Wow. Well, you're a chemist too, huh?
Glass blowing is art mixed with science mixed with juggling.
So what do you start out with? You start out with sand or?
No. You buy glass tubes and rods.
Oh, I see.
And they also sell this stuff called frit. It's like crushed glass.
Yeah, well, you'll show us all that in a minute too, won't you? Over there.
Yep,
do you have any other more finished products you want to show us before we go over there?
I got some jars here, just for putting whatever you want in them.
And they're glass. Oh, isn't that pretty?
Glass jars, and I got mini glass jars, and I got other pipes. This one's a cobalt with silver fume on it. That's what the light blue color is. It's silver fume, and I also do bubblers. This is called a sidecar, and it's got a kickstand. And this is a BHO bubbler. It's for use with oil extracts.
Wow.
See, the hole is at the top instead of the bottom of the bowl, and you touch it with a hot glass rod, and it vaporizes it and goes up into the hole. And if the hole was on the bottom, like a normal pipe, it would all just fall through because it turns into liquid. So the BHO pipes are special. They have to have a hole on the top.
So how do you use that exactly? Is it?
Well, you heat up a glass rod. You put your BHO stuff in here, and then you get a torch and you heat up your glass rod, and then you touch it to it. And once the hot rod touches it, it vaporizes into vapor.
No, I mean, you're telling me how to make it, right? I mean, how do you use it?
Well, yeah, that's how you use it.
That's how you use it
Yep,
too.
but that's how.
That
you,
sounds
That's how you
complicated.
smoke it, and this is a bubbler. So it's a water bubbler. So you put water in here through the whatever you would call that, the
Huh.
smoking thing.
That is really interesting.
And it pulls it and it filters it through the water, so it's a nice, cleaner. It's a milder, smoother hit. This is a BHO pipe too. See how the hole is up at the side there.
Whoa, this is some complicated stuff that I don't know anything about.
Well, I never knew that these existed or anybody wanted them until a guy got a hold of me from my Craigslist ad, and he asked me if he could come over and draw a picture or something.
So that you can make it. How long ago was that?
This was like when I first got my equipment, like last year.
Oh, so this is a fairly new thing. These
Yeah.
complicated pipes.
The BHO thing, yeah, that's like the newest craze in all the medical marijuana dispensaries.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay, so those are probably a lot of your customers are
Yep.
medical marijuana people.
Yes,
Okay.
and they don't make these in China. They haven't caught up with it because
Oh.
I'm the only guy around town.
Oh, you got an exclusive. Okay.
Right. Yep. As
Okay.
far as I know, I'm the only one in town making the BHO bubblers,
Great.
but there's a couple of other artists in town that are making the spoons.
So how would a person get a hold of you if they wanted to buy something? Could they find you on Facebook?
Yep.
Okay, spell your name out how it would be in Facebook.
It's Roy Peterson, RoyPeterson, Hairless Wookiee of Hoth.
Whoa, okay. And that's Flint?
Yep, Flint,
Okay,
Michigan.
so people
And
can
see,
find
my
it.
dad's name and my grandfather's name is Roy Peterson. I'm Roy Peterson the Fourth.
Whoa.
Or if you want, you could call me on my Google phone. It's 810-643-1743.
Okay, and they could text you there too.
Yep, and you can text me there. And I have an email address, Flint Area Tech, FLINTAREATECH@gmail.com.
And do you sell your things in a storefront anywhere?
Yep, well, I sell to the medical marijuana dispensaries. I have a couple places here in Flint, Michigan Organics and Michigan Safe Transfer, but they switched over to vaporizers only, so they're no longer buying any pipes. And I've sold them to the Genesee County Compassion Club and Big Daddy's up here on Dort, and there's a couple other places, one in Pontiac and a couple
Sure.
in Ann Arbor, and I'm looking to expand.
Okay. And then, of course, your art, your beads and things too. People could get a hold of you to buy any of your glass beads or
Yep. Any
bottle
beads.
stoppers or anything else.
I have a Craigslist ad too, so if you look up glass or
Okay,
glass
great.
beads.
Great. I think you should be on the FlintUnderground.org site. You should be on
Maybe
Etsy,
I'll
so
go
you can.
sign
Yeah,
up on
you're gonna have to do that. Here, let me see. Now, you're gonna show us where you work and.
Yeah, well, this is my temporary spot. I just moved out of my place a couple days ago, and so I'm in between places right now. And
It's
I've
like a
just set up
doctor's
here.
setup here.
Yeah, well, these glass blowers normally in the past always used tanks of oxygen.
Yeah.
And I use medical grade oxygen concentrators, and I hook two of them up in parallel, and I feed them right into the torch's oxygen input.
Oh.
And I mix that with propane, so it's an oxygen propane setup, and I don't have to fill a tank. These machines filter the oxygen right out of the atmosphere in real time, and I get about when it's operating properly, about 92% oxygen, pure.
Great.
So.
Okay. Well, let me see. What does it look like? How do you start out?
Well,
Maybe
I
we can.
start out with, depends on what I'm making. If I'm making a pipe, then I start off with a hollow tube, and I'll go grab one real quick here.
What are you gonna make for us?
I was thinking that I would probably make you a wine bottle stopper.
Okay.
You want?
Cool.
Okay. So you have a hollow tube, and this is a point that I pulled. I heated the tube up in the middle, and I actually pulled that out. And as you pull it, it gets skinnier, and it still remains hollow, and that way I can use it as a blow tube. So when I'm blowing and shaping the piece, you know, I can use that instead of having to weld on another tube.
Okay. Cool.
It's kind of like the quick, cheap way to do it.
Okay. Great. Well, let's see it. I'm anxious.
And This is a new product. This is called a waterfall bong. And what it does is it hits your bowl for you with water moving from the top chamber to the bottom chamber. This one's broken right now. A friend of mine knocked the drop stem out, and this is just a prototype. So it was a proof of concept prototype, and now that I know that the concept works, I'm going to start pumping these out too.
Great.
It's a bong that hits itself for you.
Wow.
This is some other tubing that I have. It's pre-manufactured tubing that has colors that are drawn on the inside of clear. So I can, it saves you a lot of time. That I wouldn't have to draw all these colors on the inside, and usually the yellows and the reds and the oranges boil real easy, so it's hard to get it to look good without it, without it boiling. And it's roughly the same price as if I were to buy these colors. This stuff, it runs about $60 to $70 a pound. It's expensive. Okay, so I guess we'll start making a wine bottle stopper then.
Okay, then we'll just watch you start it, and then we'll come back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll be able to get it all finished in the time it takes us to have the show.
So when you're working with glass, you know that you can't heat glass up or cool it off too fast because it'll crack. The type of glass that I use is called borosilicate, and another popular name for it would be, it's also known as Pyrex. But Pyrex is kind of like a name brand like Nike.
Yeah, I think I've heard of dishes made out of Pyrex, right?
No, Pyrex is a name brand. It's Corning are the people that created it, and a lot of people use it now for, they use it for laboratory glass and cookware, and it's more durable and it's more resistant to thermal shock, so it won't crack as easy when you heat it up or if you cool it down too fast. But you still, when we're working with temperatures like this and going from room temperature to whatever the temperature of this flame is, you have to start off slow at the top of the flame and kind of work your way into getting it hot, or else it'll crack on you. Now, these glasses that I'm using right now, these glasses are a special type of lens called didymium, and maybe if I could put it in front of the camera to show the viewers the difference, if you could look through that at the flame, or maybe you could hold it up to the camera there for me, and then take it away and look at the difference.
Oh, it's not as bright. Yeah, it's easier to...
You can see right through the yellow flame. The yellow flame is, they call it sodium flare, and it's when the sodium gets burned out of the glass, it gives off that big yellow bright flare, and these glasses are just for filtering that yellow out. They're called didymium, and they probably on the cheap side, you could probably find a pair for roughly $40, $50 to $60.
Wow.
I think I paid $60 for these, but they get up as high as like $250 for a really good pair. So what I'm doing is I'm just heating up the tip of the glass here and getting it nice and molten.
Okay.
And I'm going to make this thing called a Maria.
Okay. Well, here, why don't we come back in a little bit, and we'll see how you progress.
Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that great?
I never really just get involved to make this many pieces.
I hope we can get it done in an hour, because that looked like pretty complicated
That's
stuff.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to read some announcements?
We still got to read announcements. But if you haven't noticed, the Creative Wine Show has changed locations. Let's talk about that first off, just to make sure that everybody knows we're not at FlintTalkRadio.com. We're only on on the flintunderground.org site. And apparently you know about it, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching us right now, because that's one nights we're available now.
For sure.
But it
So
makes the show,
we're in our lovely new home at the Flint local.
yeah, we're right downtown Flint.
Right downtown Flint. You know, you can see the beautiful.
Yeah, it's a
empty
little
landscape.
warm, but we have great music downstairs. In fact, that's where I got the herd. We're gonna also have As a Lark and From Gray to Gold. Those are two other bands that are going to be on future shows because they're also playing at the Music Global. And I know the herd's going to be playing later on this month, right here, the Music Global downstairs.
And if anyone's interested in sponsoring our show because of our new home and our low cost, it's only $10.
Only
You too can be a sponsor for the Creative Alliance's coolest show, the Creative Alliance Showcase. What does that get you? It gets you 2 mentions during the show. You make your own little ad for you, and of course, you know, we won't say anything bad about our sponsors. We love our sponsors.
We love our sponsors.
They love us.
They're great.
We love that they love us.
They love that they love us, yes.
So if you want to become a member of the CA or have your event announced, get over to Jennie on Facebook. That's Jenny,
No, I.E.
JennieMoench, Jennie Moench, on Facebook.com.
Email.
Email is JennyNY6300577@yahoo.com. That's JennyNY6300577@yahoo.com. So get at her about that.
And anybody can come to a Creative Alliance meeting. They're Wednesdays at 7 o'clock at Churchill. So if you also are interested in the show or being a sponsor or anything, just show up at one of our meetings.
Want to read some sponsors real quick before we get to the events first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do you want to read the events or do you want to read the events? Okay,
So
what's
we'll
going
start
on?
with what's going on right here in our own backyard at the Flint Local 432 in the next couple weeks. First off, this weekend, Saturday, we got Tiger, Wolves and Machines, Good Weather for Airstrikes and Endeavors, and Parent the Seas playing. That'll be only $5. This Sunday, June 24th, for $5, we have Break Anchor, All Eyes West from Chicago, Break Anchors from Detroit, Vagabond and Standouts. This next Tuesday, June 26th, for another $5. You can check out Plethora, As a Lark, which will be on the show in a little bit, The Taxpayers, The Wild, and Making Friends. And of course, next Friday, June 29th, we have The Herd. We'll be on our show today, so check them out if you like them. Come check them out next Friday, June 29th at the local. They'll be headlining, playing with the Sugarcoats. Sadie is good from Gold to Gray, who I think is going to be on our show in July. And X will be playing. And also that Saturday, June 30th, Empty Orchestra, Cheap Girls, and We Are the Union, The Fencemen, and Wilkes Booth. Just Wilkes Booth. So stick around for that. Also going on in the city of Flint right now, we have the Juneteenth parade going on today. You can still check it out. There is this Tuesday at 5:30, a Grateful Gospels Juneteenth Gospel Extravaganza, and a citywide church outreach cookout. Check out Facebook for more information on that. October Babies will be playing June 20th, which is this upcoming Wednesday, the same day as our Creative Collab Night, 8 p.m., 2012 Ann Arbor Summer Festival. Check them out. Friday, June 22nd, Flint Helps 4th Friday will feature Jamie Brooks from the Weiss Advocacy Center, which works to prevent child abuse and help survivors of child abuse. If you'd like to meet with them for their 4th Friday talks they have every month, they meet at Hawkins Deco Deli from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. And that's at 503 Garland Street.
That's a little positive.
Yeah, I went to one of those Dick Graham's Love Forest Market came out. It was pretty cool. Check that out. That same day, Friday, June 22nd, from 9 until 2 at Churchill's, Maria Rose and Swiss Kicks will play with. Yeah, Maria Rose is great. We'll be playing with Port to Port, Port Huron, and Earl Grey, which are pretty cool. It's 18 and up, $3 for music. Music starts at 10 o'clock. This Saturday, June 23rd, there will be Flint Pride in the Park. Starts at 12:30, goes 6 p.m. at the Pavilion Rink and adjacent front park. It's a Pride event for a positive stance against discrimination and violence towards lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. The intent of this event is to celebrate diversity in our city, affirm gay and transgender individuals, increase visibility, and to build a sense of community. Join us June 23rd as we come together to celebrate Flint Gay Pride and the recent passing of the local human rights ordinance. There will be Visa gift card prizes and other fun stuff. The suggested donation is $5. This Saturday, June 23rd, the Aloha Lounge will be Off the Wall Fest, which is a collaboration between Flint Underground, Dead Ground Productions, and On Point Productions. It will be an outdoor event with musical performances, live art vendors, art display, fire, and networking opportunities. Feature DJ Nadi, Quest Ion, Mistaken for Satellites, DJ Faceless, Robot, The Skinny, Block Sounds, All Day Monday, Gemini Switch, DJ PC, and visual artists will include Brian Stadler, Amber Blanchard, Julie Moore, Pauly M. Everett, Olivia Snow, Roy Peterson, who's also on our live cam today, Angela Florida, Ernest Carter, and Ely Fernandez. It's $5 at the door, number 3 entry, 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. If anyone else is interested in getting involved, please contact Julie Moore or Pauly or the Aloha Lounge. I'll give you Pauly's number because I know he's always answering his phone. It's 810-610-6870. That same day, it's going to be a busy weekend, Saturday, June 23rd, DJ Michael A. presents the Wayback Machine at Churchill's Food and Spirits on Saginaw with DJ Ash Rod, aka David Asher, for a sound system clash. Should be cool. You should check that out if you're not going to be anywhere else. This Sunday, June 24th, Peace Mob Gardens will begin Project Seed Bomb, which is a way to, seed bomb's kind of like a way to get, it's like clay, dirt, seeds. And it basically lets the rain kind of like plant stuff for you, and it makes it last a lot longer. And we do a bunch of those all up the east side. They're getting lots of clay, 40-pound bag of seeds. It's a good way to beautify the city of Flint if you're interested.
Flint was actually one of our guests, or was one of our hosts when you weren't able to be on the show.
So there you go. If you liked Phil,
yeah,
you should come check them out. Mount Gardens. You can find them on Facebook too. The Lunch Studio will be having a fundraiser June 28th, Thursday, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Invited in support of Dan Kildee, and have his favorite foods off the menu. It's $25 per person, $100 to host.
And they're one of our sponsors, so we definitely.
And then one of our sponsors for this show, so please contact campaign@dankildee.com to RSVP or your tickets. Go through the Lunch Studio if you can.
Music local too is having something with the Flint this morning. But anyway, they're having a Flint zombie walk, and they're proud to kick off the summer-long celebration of zombies to help with the mood for the big event in October. Have you ever been to a zombie walk?
I've seen them.
Yeah, well, there's one on our website too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from a few years ago. Yeah, it's from a couple of years ago, but it will really give you a good idea of what that zombie walk is like.
So this is like a pre-zombie walk.
Yeah, this is like just planning for, but it's a big thing and it's a lot of fun and it's a fundraiser. I think it's going to be for the women's shelter, isn't it? That's what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is every year, and so it takes a lot of planning, but it's a lot of fun. And if you go to our website, you can see at the very bottom of the list of videos, there's a zombie walk from a couple of years ago.
For sure.
So.
And that's it for
Was it
my
very
events.
nice?
So let's get to the sponsors. It's a favorite part of the show.
Ready, set?
Signs by Craney is the area's largest and most complete custom sign company. From concept through completion, no one does it better. Design, fabrication, installation, and maintenance. A business with no sign is a sign of no business. Located in Flushing, 4160 Commerce Drive at 810-487-0000. Churchill's Food and Spirits, 340 South Saginaw Street, is one of downtown Flint's oldest hidden treasures. For more than 30 years, Churchill's has been a local downtown favorite, serving quality food and service at a reasonable price. Stop in and see why so many students and business people alike choose Churchill's. Happy hour specials and home-cooked lunch specials daily. Live entertainment every Friday night. The Lunch Studio at 444 South Saginaw in downtown Flint is a fresh alternative for lunch. They have been awarded a healthy menu certificate every year since opening in 2001. The Lunch Studio is a great place to meet up for a sandwich and offers catering as well. Check them out on Facebook. Crash, Bang, Bloom, Doom is the 5th chapbook in Lackluster's continuing Metaglyphic series. This book of romance and rejection poetry is available in hard copy and digital formats for only $3. That's right. Please visit nickcuster.com for more information.
You too can be a sponsor. It's only a $10 donation to the Creative Alliance, and you'll be helping us pay for this program as well as promoting yourself with the help of Flint's coolest grassroots organization.
Now our first guest, Raven Steele and Tony. And they're from the Buicktown Ghostbusters.
GhostHunters.
I always want to say Ghostbusters.
It's like a step of Rudolph from Busted. You know, you gotta find it first, and then
They're
after you call it,
legitimate.
After a beer or two, we say Ghostbusters.
And let's see, now although you live in Flint now, Raven was originally from Vassar. Okay, and you're the lead investigator of the Buicktown Ghost Hunters since 2008.
Right.
Okay, and you conduct paranormal investigations, ghost hunting, collecting and documenting physical evidence of spiritual activity, always making a scientific approach by ruling out the normal from the paranormal. Raven Steele is also a professional terrorist. You read tarot cards,
Yes,
right?
I do.
Is that how you say it? Terrorist?
Terrorist.
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 Terrorist. Is that a terrorist? Okay. You're also an astrologist, so you read the stars, right? And a palmist.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And you're available for private sessions, parties, and fundraisers. You went to University of Michigan? Or Michigan State University.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, here we go. And you studied nursing and abnormal psychology and world religions. So you are a very well-rounded individual, aren't you?
Got my money's worth.
Yeah. Well, just religions, that's a big subject all by itself. But I do know I have some friends that know you from the Metaphysical Church in Davison. So that was cool. When I mentioned that you were going to be on the show, I had a couple different people say, "Oh, I know him. He's so cool. He's such a nice guy. And he's a good tarot reader."
No pressure.
Yeah.
So, I have a question.
Sure.
How haunted is Flint Town?
You know, Flint has got a lot of paranormal activity happening. I mean, when you think about its history, going back to its founding days, and right up through present, so it's had a lot of history, and therefore it's had a lot of paranormal activity that's been associated with that. A lot of energy that remains, long after the deceased has passed on. That energy still remains, and we're hopeful to get to as many of the downtown areas as we can to investigate and see what all is there, see what kind of claims people have, and approach it with taking that scientific approach. And we want to rule out the normal from the paranormal. We always take a kind of a skeptical approach when someone brings us in for an investigation. Not that we doubt them, but we don't want to go in all hyped up like they are, because then our results are going to be a little skewed by our emotions. But so far, I can say we haven't been disappointed much with the claims that people have made, and then based on what we find in our own investigation.
What are some of your fantastic finds?
I think probably one of the best ones we've had was our most recent one. There was a private residence, and the report that they had was that there was an entity that was harassing one of the children in the house. Well, it was a teenager, leaving scratch marks, just basically haunting him, personally, harassing him. And they've been having those claims for 10, 15 years, I think they said. And they found out about us, gave us a call. We went out there, did our interview, and did a walkthrough, and to find out where the hot spots are, where's the most activity seem to be located, what time of day or night. And we went in, and I think probably 20 minutes into the investigation, Tony and I split up into different rooms to conduct EVP sessions.
What does that entail?
EVP is electronic voice phenomenon. What that is, it involves using a digital recorder and conducting basically an interview, just talking and assuming that there's something there. And the spirit voices come through the white noise on the digital recorder. So what we don't hear with our own ears at the time, during playback, we'll hear responses. And so we split up about 20 minutes into the investigation, went to 2 different rooms, and she wasn't gone more than 10 minutes. And she came back in, and she said she had been scratched.
I've never been scratched before.
Right, and she had nice long scratches along her forearm, that were clearly visible, and we documented that, of course. In the paranormal community, when a person gets scratched, which is not terribly uncommon, it just depends what, what's the intent behind it. We kind of determined that the intention behind this wasn't necessarily malevolent, it was just to get her attention. And it did, definitely got her attention. What we look for in scratches, we look to see if there are 3 separate ones. 3 separate scratches on the body is considered to be a mocking of the Trinity. And when we encounter something like that, we know then that we're dealing with something perhaps demonic, definitely something not pleasant. But hers were kind of crisscrossed, so we kind of ruled out the negative aspect. It was just more to get her attention, and it did. Throughout that investigation, we heard a series of voices coming through in the EVPs. We captured a lot of photographic evidence, a lot of orbs that were manifesting in the rooms and traveling through. We caught a plasma burst, which was an incredible find. That's one of the rarer things. And it looks like a neon tube suddenly lighting up in a room, and then captured it on film, and as it manifested and as it exited out the room and lit up the hallway. So,
do you have any photographs of that?
I do, actually.
Great. Oh, let's see. What do you have?
Not only that, just scratched me, it said, "Hi, Tony."
Right, during
So, and I've never been in this house in my life.
Well, and you know what? We really haven't talked to you too much, Tony. Then exactly what is your what are you?
Same thing.
You do the same thing that Raven does?
Yeah, but I don't do tarot or nothing.
Yeah. So you're just another investigator. You do the same work with the same equipment. And,
Right.
okay.
What got you guys into this one?
we've been, before we got together, we each had our individual experiences, and everybody does. I think everyone has had at least one experience with something unknown. We won't necessarily call it paranormal until we rule out, what it is, but definitely everybody kind of runs into kind of situations that they can't explain, and whether they hear something or they witness something. And a lot of times people will just kind of keep that to themselves because they don't want to sound crazy or start a fuss, but we both kind of were attracted to that always. And my study over the years has included the reasons why some of these manifestations take place and how they take place and where they take place, and what kind of objects, like trigger objects, can be used to attract that kind of energy, to investigate.
Oh, so you think that objects can also have energy in them?
Most definitely. Everything that is significant to a person who passes on a piece of property, an object, a person sometimes, that energy will remain attached to that object. And a lot of times a home or a business or whatever will claim to have paranormal activity. And as you go through and investigate, you come to find out it's not necessarily that it's a haunting as much as there's an object that basically is a beacon for all this energy to attach to itself.
Do they have to be dead?
No, they don't have to be dead. A person can leave behind energy in an object and still be quite alive.
Right.
And I've had personal experiences where you're close to somebody and you leave. Maybe they came in for a visit and you haven't seen them for a while. It was real cool while they're there, and they leave. They leave something behind. But during the time you've discovered to let them know, hey, you left this behind, there's activity in the house. There's just something that seems to be off, presence, And then you find it. And of course, being investigators that we are, what we do is whip out some equipment and do a reading on it and see if it's throwing off EMFs, which is electromagnetic fields. And if the stronger the field that's coming off of it, we know there's more energy that's attached to it. So to answer your question, no, a person doesn't have to be dead to leave residual energy behind.
What are these photographs?
What I'm showing you right now is a manifestation of an orb that appeared in this room. You can clearly see it right here as it manifested. It just basically sprang up out of a spark. I mean, the room was completely dark, and we used enhanced photography with particular lighting, ultraviolet, infrared, that kind of thing to capture things that we can't see with our naked eye in the darkness. And I caught through the lens or through the viewfinder kind of like a spark. It just looked like like somebody flicked a bit, but it was, 5 feet off the ground. So kind of, trained the camera on it, and slowly it just started to build and expand into what you see here. And I think, I don't know what that place is, but okay, isn't it though? Let's see, I think I've got another one here. Here's what it started out as, and this is blown up a little bit.
Can you see it? Well, he was.
It started out as basically this burst of light, and then it grew into what we saw in the previous photo. Now, this is a photo that was taken down the basement of that same home we were just discussing, and this is just an extra room. And what you're seeing here isn't flash, isn't a light that's inside this blackened room. This was mist that started to form, manifest in the darkness of that. It was pitch black in that room, and all of a sudden, the hairs in our body just started to react. You just get that feeling that you get when you're outside during a lightning storm. That ionized air kind of takes place. You just get that charge. So we knew there was something there, and our meters were registering something as well. We weren't sure where it was at, but we were pretty clear that there was definitely something there.
Spoke out to the box.
Right, exactly.
I can't remember exactly what it said.
What you see here, and you may not be able to see it very well with the lighting, but this is round circle. That's an orb that started its journey in the location that you see here, and then it traveled to the right and into that darkened room, and then it expanded into the mist that we saw. Here's another picture of that original orb we were talking about, that burst of energy as it was expanding. And yet again, this is that room I was talking about. You can see how dark it was in comparison to what we saw in the previous photo.
Now, a lot of these photos you get from just looking over all the footage,
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Right.
The investigation's the fun part,
Right.
Then the work is afterward. You spend days listening to things
over and over and over and over again.
Exactly. You run through. We got a program on the computer that allows us to download what we capture on our digital recorder and review it in waveform, so we can mark it and identify it and play it back. And this is another one of those orbs, and you can see there it has two glowing.
It's like a spaceship.
Yeah.
And that's what I said too.
I kind of saw it as two kind of glowing eyes.
Well, I did too, but at first it's like, when you catch it, but that was in a bedroom,
Right.
In the same house.
in the same house.
In the same
Did you
house,
ever
right.
find any history about this house or explanation?
Yeah, Tony, why don't you go and tell them what you know about history?
The lady the people that live there, actually they go to our church, and she said she used to be a doctor. She bought the house from a lady, and I guess she just did some bad stuff, and she was just real mean, and I don't know how, I can't explain it with her, because I don't really know too much about the lady, just from what they tell us, that she was just bitter, and then she became a nurse after she lost her practice.
Oh, she lost her practice.
Right.
Oh, I
Right.
see.
And then I guess they had a hell of a time trying to buy the house from her, and she had a bunch of different houses, I guess, and they wanted to buy the house, and they finally did, and she said she was going to come back and hunt her, and she says she has ever since, and it's been the son. She drinks, but the son that's 18 is the one that's been just.
Was his room maybe where her room was or something? Is there anything like that?
We're not sure what room she occupied. She owned the house and she owned it, on her own. So we're not sure, but there were definitely certain bedrooms that had more activity.
Oh yeah,
than
by
others.
far. It's called the Purple Room, but that's where most of the burst of energy that he's talking about. That right there, it was in the Purple Room, and that's the one where she said her daughter got, within just a couple of days, this got suicidal, never had a problem in her life, like 14 years old, and just, like 30 days went by. She was just completely she wouldn't get out of bed.
What's the next step if you guys identify that there might be a presence?
Once we identify a presence, we basically leave it up to the family. Here's the evidence we captured, based upon the claims that you gave us. Here's what we captured, let's go over it. How do you feel about it, basically? You know, if they base a lot of it on what our findings are, what our sense is. Does it seem benevolent? Does it seem like it wants to do harm? If it seems like it wants to do harm, then we'll come back at a different time and do a banishing kind of ceremony, basically, and where we just release that energy where it needs to go. A lot of times that energy that at first glance seems to be negative and harassing people is nothing more than a spirit that just feels that it's trapped. It doesn't know where. Yeah, it doesn't know where it's supposed to be. Especially in the case where someone dies suddenly or they die violently. It just happens so quickly that by the time they cross in that realm, they're trapped. They're not sure where they're supposed to be. Everything apparently seems like we're looking at it right now, but they're disembodied from it.
It's kind of like Groundhog Day. It repeats itself over and over and over and over again.
You know, so what we try to do is identify, you know, what the, what their purpose is, if they have a purpose. You know, if they're just lost and they just need to be kind of sent on their way, to use that trite expression, you know, go to the light kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's really all it takes. Other times, if it's a spirit that they don't feel threatened by, you know, they just know there's something there, they just want something to be validated. And once we do that, they're comfortable living with it. And we let them know that there are techniques that they can use to kind of put the spirit or the energies on notice that, hey, when I'm getting up and around in the middle of the night, I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear you, be elsewhere. Exactly. And oftentimes that's really all it takes.
Never want that against somebody watching me all the time.
Right. We got enough of that with the government, so we don't need to have it for the afterlife as well. But
we also do a prayer before we walk in, and we release energy when we're done, because I mean it can travel. It can take a home, and you know, and I have a son that's 13 and 9, and it's like I don't want to bring it home, so we, you know.
Right, so we do a ceremony before we go into the house, go into
definitely.
the premises, go into the establishment, and you know, it's just a prayer that, you know, of protection. And then at the end of it, we do a benediction where anything that may have tried to attach to us for a ride elsewhere, you know, we leave it right where it's at.
He's aggressive, so he'll be like, you don't need to be here if it is bad. You know, these people, you're freaking them out or whatever. And she said when we came back and showed the evidence that they really hadn't had any more, because he said you didn't need to go.
And there's different styles of that investigators will take in their approach when they're dealing with you know, spirit energy. Sometimes people are just very polite. You know, I try to take that approach first. You know, I consider it's still their home. They think it is anyway. So, you know, you walk into somebody's house unannounced, start walking around in the dark.
Right.
If it were you or I, you know, we're going to hide. You know, call 911, but we're going to hide, or you know, we're going to confront them if we think we're strong enough. But they tend to do the same thing. So they'll hide off in shadows. They'll hide off in different rooms, and so it's up to us as ghost hunters basically to track them down, you know, and find them.
I'd like to do this really.
In this photo, I want to show you. Again, this was in that purple room we talked about. There's this food time here, and we captured this shadow figure. I don't know if you can see it very clearly with the light reflecting.
This is his shadow
Right,
there.
exactly.
You see now?
Face almost.
Yeah, you can see a profile, you can see shoulders, you can see the torso. Yeah, it was very clear.
Oh.
And at the time, of course, we didn't necessarily see this. But what we felt instead was coldness on a cold spot. And generally, cold spots are a good indication that there's spirit energy present, because it's believed that the energy will draw the surrounding energy around it to help manifest, and that causes a drop in temperature and a rise in the electromagnetic fields.
And if they touch you, you feel shivery, or if they walk through you, you get really. I remember one time he just could not get warm. I mean, I don't even know how long, but he I mean, it looked like, honestly, I mean, it sounds stupid, but a ghost walked through him, and then we didn't know at the time, but all of a sudden he's like, Tony, I cannot get warm. He was freezing for like 20 minutes. I mean, I'm throwing all this stuff on him, he just could not
It was like,
get.
yeah, it was like being hypothermic, you know,
Couldn't
like
get his
being pulled
breath.
out of ice water. I mean, I just couldn't control my, shivering.
He's like, oh my gosh, I don't
Regulate my temperature.
blankets on. I'm
So
like,
you're sensitives too, I mean, that you can walk in,
Right, I mean, I'm an empath, and so I can walk into, any kind of situation, any location, and get a sense of what the energy is. I mean, I'm not clairvoyant, I don't see things, but I sense things. And we all have a degree of that. You know, you can walk into somebody's house and you can tell they just got done fighting.
Right.
They're cool when they get there, but
the
you
energy shifts.
Yeah, you know that saying, you can cut the tension with a knife. I mean, that's literally, what it's like.
Pretty much, and the air stagnant, it's, if there's some, and that purple room was really, really bad. I mean, what did they walk through? I got nauseous. And even the lady that showed us, she said she does not like that room. And she liked the other room, that was kind of her safe room, and it had like weights in it. I didn't like that room either. But she was all right with that room. Now, I didn't feel anything on her bedroom, but she said she did. But I didn't feel nothing. But that purple room was horrid. It was just hard to breathe.
But what do you think is the emotions that are trapped in there? Like maybe she was very angry or unhappy
She's a
when she
bitter
was
lady
in
from
that
what she
room,
said.
and that kind of permeated the room, the energy?
That's a very good point, and that separates two different classifications of hauntings. You have an intelligent haunting, and you have what's called a residual haunting. An intelligent haunting is basically a haunting where you can interact with the spirit. Again, using the devices we talked about, using the digital recorders, or a device that's called a spirit box. And a spirit box, what it does, it generates white noise. And you can get the same effect basically with a radio that's tuned into a station that's not a station, you just get that static. And what spirit energy does is it helps them to generate their voice through that. And so if you're interacting with an energy, and if it's not answering intelligently, let's say, it's just saying random things that have nothing to do with what your investigation is centering around, it's a good indication of what you're dealing with is a residual haunting. The residual haunting is similar to screaming through the Grand Canyon listening for your echo. It's just energy that's on a continuous loop. And it's not intelligent, doesn't interact, it just does what it does on a cycle. And then an intelligent haunt is just the opposite. You ask a question, you get a relevant response.
So they acknowledge you.
Yeah, you definitely get acknowledgement. It may not be pleasant, but you definitely get an acknowledgement.
With the residual haunting too, isn't that also have to do with the person's regular habits when they were alive?
Exactly.
And they're going through the same habits that they had, but only now they're no longer alive.
There was a report of the Walmart that they built out in Clio, and the newer Walmart out there, as they were breaking, or not, after they broke ground from it and they built it, I guess by the automotive section, the tire section, there were people claiming that they saw this apparition of an elderly man who was priming a water pump, one of those old water pumps that you would see on farms, and it was completely out of place.
Right.
It's in the middle of a tire section.
Yeah.
And there was more than one person that witnessed that. And so there's obviously some credence to that. But then what that demonstrates is that regardless of whatever structure goes up, whatever was there originally, whether it be a burial ground or a farmhouse or whatever it may be, or wherever it may have been, that residual energy, that habitual repetition of going through the motions of something that they would have done in their daily life still remains.
Right.
And the same thing applies to the emotions of the room. If it was, like if this room was used for, let's say, punishment back in the day, if we were to conduct an EVP session, it would be quite possible to pick up the yells and the screams and the cries, of that residual energy that still remains.
This is when probably a lot of people would be just fidgety and itchy and just like, you guys, you feel just irritated.
Is it a lot easier to resolve residual energies than it is intelligent?
Residual energies are harder to get rid of because they don't respond, because they're not intelligent energies, so they don't, it's not like they ignore you, they just don't recognize you. It's like yelling at the TV. You know, it's like watching a football game and yelling at the ref. I mean, okay, you can do that, but, you know, it's not gonna change it, and they're not really hearing you.
And a lot of times too, I remember on one EVP, you have to go over so many times because we didn't get just one where it sounded like him, but it was, because it sounded like him when he's like, hear this. And you know, you have different people, and if you can hear the same thing, then you know it's, you know.
Yeah, I was
It was-
walking
that was
through the
creepy.
streets, and I was getting readings, getting an EMF reading throughout this part of the house, and I had dropped down to my knees to get a reading closer to the floor, and I'm, you know, talking, and I'm trying to conduct a, interview if there's anything on the other side that will answer, and I didn't hear anything at all at the time, but later during playback, I clearly could hear my own voice as I'm talking, and layered underneath it was another voice, and it sounded so much like my own voice, but it was like overdubbed, so I couldn't have possibly said two things at the same time.
Right.
But that's sometimes possible with spirit energy, is it can take on whatever form that it wants, it can mimic whatever sound that it wants. Why it would choose to do that is, unknown, but it was interesting nonetheless to encounter that.
Yeah, because when it comes through the box, sometimes it could be people's voice and they recognize it. I mean, because one house we did, they recognized that was the mother. I mean, that's her.
And she had passed from cancer a few
Right.
years previous, so the daughter was along with us during the investigation, just kind of as a guest investigator kind of a thing,
She was a trigger object.
And we kind of used her as a trigger object,
Oh, yeah.
Because it's her mom, and so we used her with her father's permission as a trigger
She
object.
wanted to.
And she wanted to. There was no saying no anyway.
Right.
But during playback, during the reveal, when we got back with the family and played it back, we picked up this voice. Tell me if this sounds like something that you've heard before, or if this sounds familiar. And she instantly recognized it as her mother's voice. So
Are there a lot of emotional reveals where people will see something?
yeah, there's depending what the investigation entails. If we're going to the home or the residence of someone who's looking to see if their deceased loved one is still around, and if we capture them and reveal it back, it can be quite a hefty experience. And it gets to us too. We're empathic and we sense the emotions of people around us as well as the environment. But you got to kind of push through and say, okay, let's move on to something else we captured.
Yeah, it was cool because she witnessed her mom do this to my hair, and he caught it with the orb in the. That was like one of their rooms. There's always one room out of the whole house that nobody likes. It's not the basement usually. It's a room.
That's where it gets used.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any famous places? Places that anybody would know about that you might have been to?
We've been to a few places that are known, but we really can't say because we tried desperately to get a hold of whoever we could get a hold of, see if we could gain entrance, to conduct an investigation, a lockdown, for an evening, but no one knew who to get a hold of, and we just had to get in there. So with a little elbow, over the door.
We've done cemeteries too, though.
Right, we've done cemeteries, and cemeteries are a great place, to conduct investigations. It's
You guys done?
you've got a captured audience.
Have you done any of the ones around here, like the Glenwood or Avondale?
No, we haven't. We've basically done cemeteries that are out and beyond.
Well, I did the one.
Right, she did it by herself. Yeah.
I know, but that's where my grandparents are. So, but it's beautiful there, and actually, the day that I did that, I took a picture. All of a sudden, there's this casket. Remember the picture? I had on my phone. It's just like laying out in the middle of the dirt road. I'm like, what is in the world? I'm like, what is the casket just sitting here for? Because it's towards the back more. It wasn't nowhere near, but I'm like, take a picture, and I said to him, I'm like, this is what I'm looking at.
So it
He's
was
like, open it up.
It wasn't
Yes, it was.
Right. It wasn't a manifestation. It was
No, I took several different pictures of it, and I'm looking at the people that are going by too, and I'm over by the tree, and I'm like, does not anybody recognize that this is just laying here?
Open it up.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't think I'm
Now I
on
gotta
it.
see
It's
their
broad
response.
daylight.
Do you guys ever get really afraid?
I did early early on, I don't know if I'd use afraid, but anxious, apprehensive, nervous,
Adrenaline rush.
Yeah, that's really kind of what it is. It's just that adrenaline
Like
rush.
music.
You don't know what you're going to encounter. You know you're going to encounter something, and you're always in total darkness. So you're fumbling around, and you can only see so much through a viewfinder that's using, infrared, So you're still going to trip over something. You feel along the wall, you find an opening, and you go around it, and something jumps out at you, and it's going to get your attention. I don't care who you are, how long you've been doing it, But
Right.
the trick is, recovering from it, not running the other way, running toward it. And that was kind of a thing to kind of have a learned behavior was to,
Discipline.
because your first reaction, that fight or flight kind of thing kicks in, something suddenly manifests in your face.
Right.
You're gonna run. I don't care who you are,
Well,
how
that
big
was
you
what
are.
was freaky when he was going over on the computer when it said my name. I had just said, he didn't make it known that it said my name, because no one's ever said my name. This was the first time I'd ever had that happen. You just playing poker face. And I just said, I'm listening to it, he's like, listening, and I just said, I don't feel anything in this room like I did earlier in the day when we did the walkthrough. And then it said, why don't
Very clear. It's what we call Class A.
it's so clear. And I'm like, he's looking at my face, and I'm just like, say that again?
And I had to reassure her for a time after that. It's like, look, it didn't come home with us. It stayed there. How it knew your name, it's debatable.
Right, and that's what I want.
When we start an investigation, we identify ourselves. This is Raven, this is Tony, and we're at whatever location that we're beginning our investigation. And if it overhears that, it's going to remember that. And at the right time, it chose to, announce itself.
Scratch me and say my name.
Yeah, she was scratched and
But you don't feel the scratch. That's the thing, is you don't feel the scratch. And I just walked out of the room from him, and I said, I'm going this room. And we separated. And I guess that must have been about maybe 5 minutes later. I just felt hot. Like, have you ever had poison ivy, or you scratch or you put or your sweat or anything? That's what it was. And then it just started getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And I'm like, hey, something's going on here. And it was right there. And I don't know if he showed you the picture of it, but it didn't. But the weird thing is that I had just one little, about that long for the longest time. The other ones faded after time, but there's still one.
There's a little bit.
Yeah, but it didn't cut you. It's just raised the skin
Sure.
not even as much as when you get a tattoo. It didn't even raise that much. So you don't know.
What if somebody wanted you to visit their home? Is it expensive?
No, it's not. It's reasonable. Ideally, we're hoping to get to a point when we can just basically do it at no charge whatsoever, because what we do, what our mission statement is, we're about helping people, and that includes the dead.
Right.
Help people bring closure to their situation, help the dead move on.
Right.
So it's geared towards that. But we do have expenses, and it's an unfortunate kind of situation that we have.
Equipment's expensive.
But we charge a very nominal fee.
Yeah, you guys know, equipment's expensive.
Right, and that's, we have to constantly upgrade and have the newest and the best, to keep up. So we charge nominal. We hope to get to a point where we can, promote merchandise, for Buicktown Ghost Hunters, and be able to pull it off that way. And that way we can just get a call, go, not have to mess with, the pleasantries of, fees.
It's a lot of work setting up and taking down. It's just
You guys have the day or 2 to 3 days afterwards where you're just listening and reviewing.
Yeah, pretty much. It takes, we say at least a couple days we'll get back to him, because it is it depends on how much you get. How long you stay there. At this last house, we weren't there very long to get all of this.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was, we had to kind of start early, and we like to have an empty location.
Right.
Have the owners, the
We like
inhabitants leave, be
Yes.
elsewhere, so that there's no contamination of
Right.
evidence as we go along. Somebody downstairs talking, and I'm like, okay, gotta rule that out. But we had a house full.
Oh, yes,
And-
teenagers.
Because once,
Girls.
I guess it got out that we were gonna be there, and so
The ghost
everybody-
hunters are gonna be here.
Right,
Right.
so
They're
people
videotaping
converged.
the videotapers.
They're
Exactly.
running up down the stairs, and I'm like, we gotta get this. And I mean, they're 13, 14-year-old girls, they're running out and they're all like, I gotta color my hair for someone. We're like, really?
So we started the basement, we had a game plan before we walk in, you know, I
Yeah.
always come up with a battle plan, okay, here's how
Right,
we're gonna
right,
attack
right.
this. And as soon as we walked in the house and saw the house full and, you know, girly teenagers, you know, who are running around, dyeing their hair and gotta rinse it out in the shower. Okay, scrap the plan, I guess we're gonna start in the
And I
basement.
remember how many times the door opened, I would count the doors, so I know that I wouldn't hear if it was another door. I mean, their front door, I could hear it, but honestly, they were in the, what would you, their living room, or was that family room?
Yeah, family room.
Actually, they were,
Yeah,
as
they were
loud as
quite,
they were?
yeah, they were quite well behaved once they kind of got settled in. We sort of, you know,
Right.
matched our energy with theirs, and as things died down, we picked up.
that brought on a lot of energy too, because there's a lot of energy downstairs, and
Well, that must interfere with your perceptive abilities too, when you're feeling all this chaos going on.
well, they calmed down. That was pretty cool, because I'm like, when we heard that a little girl, a man and a little girl,
And towards the end of the investigation, towards the end of the evening, and we wrapped it up much earlier than we normally would like to. That's when we found out during playback, during the review of the evidence, how things were starting to pick up. I'm like, oh, if we only had a couple more hours there, we would have captured so much more. You know, the EVPs that we caught were quite significant. We caught the sound of a small female child sounding like she was running kind of through the hallway. And there was no small female child anywhere near us, so where that came from is, what we know through our experience is that when we're dealing with demonic energies, a lot of times it will attempt to manipulate its vocalizations and its appearances to mimic that of children, because people have a soft spot for a deceased child, and that demonic energy will then utilize that and manipulate it to then attach itself to you because you're looking for a child. So
your
whenever
emotion goes.
right, so whenever we hear that that an investigation involves, you know, a spirit energy of a child, we're automatically, our radar is up that it may be something else.
Well, I like too, those that you don't have to just do it at night. You can do it, we could be sitting right here and be, you know, you can do it. I mean, we felt that during the day at the house. That's how we knew what rooms really we wanted to go, and, you know, we both did. He did it, I did, and then we switched, so.
Well, how do people get hold of you? How do they contact you?
They can reach us through my Facebook page, Raven Steele. They can reach me through our fan page, Buicktown GhostHunters. They can reach me by email, ravensteele1 at Hotmail. They can contact me on by phone, that's on our fan page. Let's see, how else? They can reach me by Twitter, at ravensteele111. So there's a variety of ways people can get a hold of us, and again, our goal is to uncover the mysterious hauntings that Flint, I know, has over its history.
Oh yes, I'm like, yeah, the underground and all that here, so.
Oh, yeah, the Flint Underground.
Right.
They do have an underground, yeah.
Right.
I want to see that Capitol building. I want to go through the
That's
Capitol
what
building.
we
I want to go to the
left the
basement
other
of the
day.
Capitol.
I know, and Travis, I'm excited in front of you to play bands, and I'm like, all these buildings down here, you walk into, even when you walk down Secretary of State, you feel, ooh, down here, you know?
Yeah.
No matter what, not just because you're watching your back, your guards up all the time.
It's
Just
all the leaders buried under second on the street.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Jimmy Hoffa, he's somewhere.
Right, we had that bad tornado here too, you know, that years ago destroyed here,
Yeah,
so.
it's like 50, 60 years now.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll extend an open invitation anytime you guys want to tag along with us.
Oh, I would love to do that. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
We'll see
I
if we
just
can
keep your
get
guard
something
up, that's the thing, I mean, you got such adrenaline rush, I mean, it's fun, but just, I'm myself, like I said, he's more aggressive if it's something that someone says it's already, you know, he's got that voice, but I just be myself, walk around, talk, and, you know,
Easy
Yeah.
to do it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you, yeah.
We gotta go to our second live cam.
Yeah, we have to go to the live
So
cam.
let's see how Ned's doing with Roy in there. How's it going, Ned?
What are you doing now?
Now that I've made my Maria, I'm gonna draw I'm gonna make an implosion flower, and right now I'm gonna draw the petals of the leaves and all of the parts of the flower, like the middle part with the The part, you know, that the bees land on. I'm not a flower expert, so I don't remember the name. Okay. We heat that up just a little bit there and squash it on in. And now I'm going to draw the petals of the flower. And you can use different colors if you want. You know, it's always fun to experiment with new colors.
So what you're doing there is going to be the inside of the stopper when you're done, huh?
Yup, this is going to be the three-dimensional flower that's on the inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do you got there? What do you got? Oh. Doesn't look very colorful right now. It's because it's gonna dry.
Oh, it will. The glass that I'm using right now has silver infused in the glass, and I'm using a really highly oxidizing flame right now, so that it will burn the silver off. Because if I have too much silver on it, like if I used a lot of propane, the silver wouldn't get burned off of it, and the flower would kind of come out looking white. But by burning the silver off of it, it'll come out with more of a true color, matching the color that I use. And what I'm doing is I'm heating the disc, and I'm allowing gravity to pull the outside of the disc down, and the middle of the disc is going to kind of, you know, go in. And then when I smash it out, if you look at it from the top, you'll see that now the leaves are moving outward.
Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh, wow, cool. Here, hold it still so we can see it burn. Cool. Okay, great.
And we're back, and now we've got the band with us. This is the Herd, and they're playing up at the local. When are you playing at the local? 29th of June. Cool. And you want to read a little bio there?
Well, I'll introduce the band.
Okay, there we go.
We'll get the information for the bio out before the interview's done. So first we got Adam McNulty, who's a singer. John Michael Foss, you guys can raise your hands and wave to the camera. Bass player, we got Russ Sauter on drums, Bruce Horn on guitar, and Dan Zamicki on percussion and keys. Welcome, guys. So how long have you guys been together?
We've been together for close to 2 years now.
Okay. How would you describe your style for that?
Rock and roll with piano-driven rock songs, kind of.
Sure.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
I guess.
That's cool.
How do you guys know each other?
I've known Bruce for a long time and John Michael for a long time.
High school?
College.
College.
We went to college together.
Cool.
Russell here was the last guy to join the group here, so we met him through Bruce here.
Yeah. Are you like the roadie guy? 'Cause you're the last in the band.
Yeah, he's
You're like the Ringo Starr.
he's on thin ice.
He's on thin ice, still probation.
Yeah, exactly. Still auditioning.
Well, now we know about the local, but where else are you guys playing? What are you guys doing?
We frequent Detroit a lot. We play at the Lager House and stuff like that. Got a lot of friends down there.
Flint, Pontiac area.
Yeah. We're trying to get out to Chicago and stuff like that. This summer,
Planning a
so-
tour hopefully for July, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Coming up here.
Yeah.
Down to Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Chicago.
Cool.
Yeah.
World
Go back
tour.
through Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
World tour.
Nice.
But you guys are all from the Flint area? You're from the,
Yeah, I'm from Holly, which is Flint area.
yeah, I think so too. We're the city, Flint's the city.
It is.
You guys find people who are like, they call you out, oh, Flint Town, what's up? Yeah, the area out of state.
Which?
No, well, we haven't been out of state yet.
Oh, so you haven't been to Chicago yet?
No, it's, no.
Oh, wow.
It's our first tour we're planning.
This is the world tour, it's the kickoff.
Kickoff, all right.
Before you get too famous for us. Cool.
So do you guys have a presence online for people to come hear music, like SoundCloud or?
Yeah, actually we have our website, www.listentotheherd.com. All of our songs are on there. I think you can download them for free. There's videos on there, stuff like that.
Cool.
Hey,
Shows.
You know, too, when I was looking at Facebook, there is a few bands called The Herd, so it took me a
Yeah.
little while to fish through the right.
Yeah,
We found that out the hard way.
Yeah, how do we know that we've got the right band?
Because we're here.
Well, you'll know the sound,
Yeah. I don't know where on
Only one, The
Facebook.
Herd.
Because we showed up as kind of shot.
Many imitators.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Well, you guys have any original music too, or you play like original?
That's all
That's
I
all
do.
original.
That's all original, cool,
We
cool.
put together an album that you kind of.
Yeah, we didn't bring.
Yeah, we didn't bring our album. We have an album called Poor Man's Meal. It's about 11 songs on it, something like that.
Cool.
Did-
You sell them at the shows too, or?
Yeah, actually it's just like donations.
Awesome.
Just give them out.
Good. You had a lot of people receptive to it. A lot of people say
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
I've heard
awesome.
some good things. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people.
No bad things yet, so.
Right. It's always encouraging, you know.
At least they're not telling us.
You know, I think I've got a JPEG of that album cover.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay,
the promo.
so yeah, you wanna go ahead and show that?
Oh, you mean the one we just showed? See how that's
Cool, cool, that is great, so that's what we need to look for.
Yeah.
When we wanted to buy some of your music and we would buy it from your.
From the website. Yeah.
From the website, okay, cool.
You guys in other projects separately, or is this your main?
These guys are.
You're all heard?
Yes.
Okay. That's, I respect that. What are you guys involved in? Like,
I play drums in the Dirty Dives,
very good.
band from the Flint area.
Oh, I've heard of the Dirty Guys, yeah, yeah.
I do jazz music and I have a classic rock band called the John Fifth Quartet. We play a lot of places.
I've heard of you guys.
I've heard of you
I
guys.
play some jazz around Flint.
Awesome.
I play jazz with these guys.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
And you guys are in the John Fifth Quartet sometimes too.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. Are you guys music students at college, or were you?
Me and Dan are graduating this December.
Congratulations.
I'm about halfway through my degree.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, all heard, baby. Rock and roll. I like that. How old are you guys? You in the 20s or?
25.
25? Good deal.
22.
I'm the
22?
old one, 31.
31? The glasses hide it well, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Oh shit, he's old.
Those close to come from. Holy crap.
How old are you?
25.
25.
I was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, cool. Okay, well, you know, we need to, like, go back to that lead camp too. I hate to be sticking a lot of it. Why don't we have you guys play some music?
All right.
That's super cool.
You know, I really, because we need to go back to live camp so we can make sure that this guy gets his last piece finished before the end of the show. So we'll do the third part. Actually, this will be the third part, won't it? So this will
So
be
you're
like
at
when it
third one.
finishes, yes, this will be the finished product. We can see what it looks like in pieces.
Great.
And then when we come back, maybe you guys can be at your instruments, ready
Sure.
to play some music for us?
Oh, yes.
Let's do that. Okay, let's check in with our lab cam. Let's see what Ned's got going then.
Okay, let's see how that turned out. Ooh, oh, that is beautiful. Okay, so are you going to put that onto a cork now, or what's the process for that?
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tool here after it cools down sufficiently so that it won't bend.
Ooh, it looks like a head scratcher. Yeah.
That's pretty good for that.
Yeah, okay.
And this is called a grippy grabber.
Oh, that's a technical name for it.
That's the technical name. That's the binomial nomenclature for that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull off the material, I'm gonna cut it off, and then I'm gonna melt a ball on the end, so that when I put my wine bottle stopper on it, then it'll be hard for the cork to fall off once it's on.
Okay.
And so
Good. From the Art Walk video? I remember you from the Art Walk video. The May Art Walk video. You were on there. Oh, cool. Towards the end there, when they were playing the fiddle and the guitar
yeah,
together.
them guys were jamming down there.
Yeah.
Mandolin and
You gotta watch that video. It was great.
so it's just a little ball that goes on the end there, just to keep the rubber stopper from falling off of it. And then it goes into kiln for a period of time, and it has to.
Well, that's your kiln?
Yep, this is my kiln. It fires up to 2,700 degrees or 2,750, and the glass, in order for it to be glass is normally they call it an amorphous solid. That means it's non-crystalline, but there's a way to make it crystalline by heating it up to a certain temperature, holding it at that temperature, and then cooling it very, 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 very slow. And in the process, all the molecules that make the glass line up all in the same direction and have the same orientation with each other. And it makes for the most stable arrangement for strength, durability, resistance to cracking from heat.
Yeah, you want it to last.
Temperature change.
Buy one. How much does it cost for one of those bottle stoppers? Just curious what your price range is.
It depends on what colors I use and how much time went into it, how big it is, but generally anywhere from $15 to $20.
Oh, well, that's not much at all, really.
Pretty
for all
reasonable,
that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, is that it then? Or are you gonna put the stopper on one?
Yeah,
or?
well, we can put this.
Okay, and now the last step, right?
The very last step. And this is a different wine stopper that was made at another time. That one will have to sit in the kiln for 6, 7, 8 hours and slowly cool down.
Okay.
So what we do is we just get it a little wet, and then we slide it on. And presto, wine bottle stopper.
Oh, yeah, okay, let me get it close. Oh, let's see what it looks. Oh, cool. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Just yesterday today.
And here, now, are this month's sponsors.
Signs by Craney is the area's largest and most complete custom sign company. From concept through completion, no one does it better. Design, fabrication, installation, and maintenance. A business with no sign is a sign of no business. Located in Flushing, 4160 Commerce Drive at 810-487-0000. Churchill's Food and Spirits, 340 South Saginaw Street, is one of downtown Flint's oldest hidden treasures. For more than 30 years, Churchill's has been a local downtown favorite, serving quality food and service at a reasonable price. Stop in and see why so many students and business people alike choose Churchill's. Happy hour specials and home-cooked lunch specials daily. Live entertainment every Friday night. The Lunch Studio at 444 South Saginaw in downtown Flint is a fresh alternative for lunch. They have been awarded a healthy menu certificate every year since opening in 2001. The Lunch Studio is a great place to meet up for a sandwich and offers catering as well. Check them out on Facebook. Crash, Bang, Bloom, Doom is the 5th chapbook in Lackluster's continuing Metaglyphic series. This book of romance and rejection poetry is available in hard copy and digital formats for only $3. Only $3? That's right. Please visit nickcuster.com for more information.
So you guys have another one?
Yeah, one more. Yes.
Yeah.
This is a newer tune here.
That last one was on the album.
Yep.
Please help me if you can. Just tell me what I am thinking of. Can you tell me what am I thinking of? And I hope you will help me. Please tell me what I see. Well, I don't know, but I sure would like to know. Is it up? Is it down? And that's no good. Now, oh, loud, is it right? Is it left? Follow the you should find something. Please tie it to a string. Attach it to my finger and cut it up. And I hope you do see me, then you will truly believe all the good in life was not enough. Is it up? Is it down? That's no good. Not allowed. Is it right? Is it left? Follow the rest.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That was wonderful.
I want to have your
Yeah, I
baby.
really appreciate you guys being
Thank
on the
you.
show. And you know, what do I think we should probably,
Want to do a few clips of our...
our last promo, maybe we can do
last
that on the way out. So we can just do our
Sure.
peace out.
Yeah, whatever works. You want to just say peace out, thank the herd, thank Reagan Steele, thank Roy Peterson, thank everybody that's been on the show today, and everybody that's watching at home. Do our thing. This is the Favorite Line Showcase. My name is Nick. This is Jenny. Peace.
Hey, you want to say hi?
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
I'm
Okay,
Kurt.
and who are you?
I'm Kurt Richard Nelson, and I do the clean singing for To Be Fed.
Oh,
we
yeah?
we need to get the rest of our band though.
Okay.
It's imperative.
Where are you guys going to be after tonight? Where are you guys from?
We're
That's what I
from
wanna
here,
know. You're from
really close to the water. No.
Drop that hammer down to buy some time. By the time I hit Ohio, I had to stop for a little while.
Here's a little cottage. Such a pretty little cottage. Just wanted to get a picture of it. This used to be like the groundskeeper at one time.
What's up, dude?
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. My name's Nick, and this is Masterpiece Theater. Today I'm going to regale you with a tale from Jessica Care Moore, Detroit poet. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Once upon a time not long ago.
Read it, dude.
Oh.
Never mind. Cut.